De erste Tag is voor immer, but you hope it will pass. Once it must. This impression, there was mistake, and you got off in the wrong city. You spent the night in the back of a bus, with your backpack on your knees, your bladder full and head hanging to the right. You dreamed of walking across the postcard, on which the tulips were turning into greetings. It was almost a shame to wake up. When you finally got out, your knees were shaking. You didn't know from where to begin. Von wo fängt ein Mensch an, wenn seinen Moment erreicht hat und der Wahrheit in Gesicht blickt? Out of a million possibilities, you went to the toilet. You had a plan, though, the list of crappy jobs you weren't afraid of. You're gonna sell pretzels, drive rickshaws, wash dishes, whatever. At worst, you'll turn into a fox and dig a hole in a park. You were a story starting from scratch. You were a cult film, Joe Buck and Midnight Cowboy. You read the messages on toilet tiles, peed and hummed to yourself, everybody talking at me, I don't hear a word they're saying, only... And then you blissfully shook your dick and forgot to wash hands, out of sheer excitement. That's how you arrived. That's how you finally took your first steps into unsere Stadt. You walked down the boulevard from the postcard and admired the tulips, discovering us slowly. Unsere Schulkinder auf dem Rutschen, unsere Alten auf den Bänken, unsere Dealer in den Parks, unsere Iren in den Straßenbahnen, unsere Kassiererinnen in den billigen Supermärkten, unsere Achtlosigkeit, unsere Faulheit, unsere Gehorsam, unsere Ungerechtigkeit, unsere Verachtung all dessen, was nicht wir sind, unsere Verachtung all dessen, was wir sind, unsere Paradoxe, our dogs, our rubbish, our bad temper thrown to the streets, and of course, our walls, our obsession with walls, because the city was flatter than the postcard. Behind every wall was the next wall, and behind it, a man without any contact with another man, but only with his wall. Buildings sprouted from the ground, crowded with TV sets, women and children. We had no idea that you came here to save us with some strong metaphor. We didn't need you. Not yet, you thought, not yet. Wrong. We were peeking out from behind the curtains, so wandering around the neighborhood, trying to start a conversation. We didn't admit we understood. You ate a sandwich on the bench and drank water from the dispenser. We didn't warn you that it was contaminated. You opened a map and circled around in confusion. We didn't give you directions. Later we saw you near the post office and the park, and then you disappeared. Vermutlich hattest du dich zurechtgefunden. The first day is the worst, and it stretches from dawn to death. Sometimes you cramp up or spit out a tooth. Your mouth is full of blood. Your heart is full of blood. You're angry and hurt. You're swollen with truth. You're swollen with art, but it will not help you to pay for the room. It won't help you to crawl back to it. Mother was right when she told you. Nije ti grad pjesma. The city is not a song. And blessed are those who possess the happiness of their own walls, opposed to those who possess nothing but the blush of dusk, like Joe Buck and yourself, and millions like you who trusted the tulips on the postcards, who saw only these tulips but not the walls and not the barbarians. So they ran to meet them through the deserts, across the seas and over wire fences. And as they ran, lost their wallets and mobile phones and children and parents, and were left without suitcases, without water, without air, without language in which they could pronounce their names, left without names. Who, to cut it short, made a mistake, just like you. Kaiti, cinema.